Yo, this is the original General Levy on the original YouTube channel. Big up the man called SINCLAIR. It's your season, it's your thing, and we are running it, scene.
Hello and welcome to SINCLAIR Reggae Vibes. I'm your host, Leslie Ann Samuel. For more than 20 years, his songs have spanned the globe. Please welcome General Levy. Hi, General Levy.
How you doing? Nice to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Nice.
So what age did you get into music?
Well, I'd say I was always into music because, you hear the heartbeat in your mum's womb. So that starts it off, So I've always been into music, or into the rhythm of music from birth. But I would say that I'm actually participating in the music and writing. I started to write at the age of 11.
Okay.
11 years old. So just on the transition of primary school to secondary school, I started writing my first lyrics. A lot of them was copying my older brother. He was 6 years older than me, Winston, and I used to copy my brother's patterns and some styles I heard on the cassettes from Jamaica and cassettes I get from England, and then I eventually began to just kind of put them into my own style at the age of around 11, 12.
Okay, and what inspired you to become the artist that you are today?
Well, as I said, I used to listen to a lot of Jamaican dancehall music, a lot of English dancehall sound systems, and just reggae music in a whole in my community. My brother, as I said before, he was in a sound system, and you know how when you have your peer, it's often like you want to mimic your older brother or your older sister in your family, and he was my hero. So it's basically just my influences around me. Many influences, but it was from the streets. I'm come from northwest London, Harlesden. So in that area of Stonebridge, Harlesden, Willesden, there was a lot of influence of Jamaican culture, also American culture, hip hop. But I was more drawn to the reggae, the DJing side. So yeah, it was definitely the influences of my community and what I was hearing.
So it's the reggae music that helped to kick off and create the artist that you are today.
Definitely.
When did you make the transition from reggae to jungle?
Well, I really didn't make a transition. It was just, to me, I did my same delivery, but it was just on a different beat. So it was basically, it was just the same lyrics, the same performance, but on a different vehicle. And when I took my lyrics and put them on a different vehicle, I took my music to a new audience.
Okay.
So basically, I've never changed my style. I just because I did the same song, Incredible, prior to the jungle track,
right,
in the reggae market. And it did, it was a mediocre track in the reggae market. But when I took the same performance and put it onto a jungle track, it opened up doors in a different way.
I mean, jungle and reggae are very, very different. How did your reggae fans receive your new sound, so to speak?
Well, because jungle and reggae are not they are different, but jungle also has many influences from reggae, which is what attracted me to it. When I heard the original jungle stuff, a lot of it had reggae samples in it, which made me as a reggae person and other people who like reggae music, we could relate to it to a certain extent. It was like a distant like a second cousin.
Okay.
Like a cousin. I wouldn't even say second, I'd say a first cousin to reggae, And we could relate to it. So when I heard they were using a lot of samples of reggae before I was initially approached to do the track, they were using my voice in samples of jungle a few years before,
right,
up to the time I did the track. So my voice was already in the scene, the samples of my voice. So when I came along in 1994 and put a straight live vocal, it wasn't hard to make the connection because I'd already been musically associated vocally with the scene, and they had been using a lot of reggae influences. So it wasn't so hard for my audience and the jungle audience to accept the merger, because it had been kind of on the cards for a while. They'd been using samples, so now there was a chance now to get a full vocal from me. So it was it's evolution.
Okay. And what's your favourite album by another artist other than yourself?
My favourite album by another artist by myself. I listen to some really obscure music. When it comes to music, I listen to some. My favourite album, P.D. Pablo, Diary of a Sinner.
Why is that your favourite album?
Because it's one of the only albums I've listened to fully over and over and over again, and it helped me through certain times. There was a time it came out like in maybe, I don't know when it came out, maybe 10 years ago, something like that, but it was an album that, you know, there's certain albums, certain artists that not mainstream. I like to pick artists that are not on the getting blown up. They're on mediocre artists, but I go for lyrical content. And this artist, P.D. Pablo, this album that he did called Diary of a Sinner, he demonstrated not just MC vocal skills, but also melodic singing kind of skills as well. And a lot of stuff, because he's from down south,
Okay.
and a lot of hip hop and a lot of soul from the south as well. And I really felt that vibe, that the down south America and the traditional lyrics, hip hop bars. So, you know, as I said, I listen to a lot of different kind of art, different kinds of music, and incorporate the inspirations into my reggae music and my jungle music. So I'd say, yeah. And then if recently, I would say definitely P.D. Pablo, Diary of a Sinner.
Okay. So you heard it here first.
Yeah, I listened to that.
I know that you've been quite busy.
Yes.
So where was the last event that you performed?
The last event that I performed was in Goa. I was in Goa, I think 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I did the Goa Festival.
Yes.
And it was the first ever Goa Festival in India, the first big reggae festival in India, celebrating reggae music. And I was proud and privileged to headline it. So I headlined the Goa Festival in India. And then a few days before that, I did a show in Delhi.
Okay, and how did the fans out there receive reggae music?
Oh, they're very, very fanatical. They love reggae music. I mean, reggae music really is the music of the world, really, because anywhere you go with reggae music, they know Bob Marley, they know the influences, they know One Love, they know reggae music and traditional, old school, traditional stuff used to be dealing with a lot of positivity, a lot of bringing people together. So it's always got a good reception. Anyway, I was even in Dubai before I went to India. I did a show in Dubai, and that was received very well. That was really off the hook, because there's a lot of English people, a lot of European people in Asia, and mixing with the Dubaians and the Emirates, and then also when I went to India, Indians mixing with the English. We just made a united party. It took 3 parties in Asia that went really well.
Oh, that sounds great. So what has been the best moment in your musical career to date?
The best? Well, every week I do a show, so that's always a good moment for me. But I'd say my most...
or your most memorable?
My most cornerstone, the time in my career when I really realised it was this was really a situation that I've arrived, is when I did Top of the Pops.
Okay.
Which was in 1994, because I've always watched Top of the Pops as a show. As a kid, I always watched it growing up, and I always thought that you had to be a real artist to be on Top of the Pops. When you get on Top of the Pops, you've made it. You know, you're a star. You're popular.
And what were your feelings like at that precise moment when you hit the stage?
Actually, doing Top of the Pops was quite. It was quite simple, quite light work really, because we had to. It was like I came in. I had a string vest on. I didn't even dress up. It's funny when your day comes. Sometimes you just get on with it. But I mean, it was a moment for me that I'll never forget. And just reaching the people and looking at these English kids going crazy for my music. It was just like a moment. And when I say booyaka, booyaka, and they go booyaka, these are kids that I watch every week on my TV. And to see them giving me that reception, and MB as well. And we had a live band. We used a live band on that particular set. It was a life-changing and a really euphoric moment for me that I'll never forget.
How did your family feel when they tuned in?
Oh, my family thought, my family were really proud of me and really happy for me, you know. You know how it is with black families. You know how it is.
They were jumping for joy.
Yeah, man. There's a black, you're on TV, one of us get through, So definitely, my mum was very proud of me, and my brother very proud of me. And everybody in my family. At that time, my kids were young, and everything like that. But my cousins and everybody. But it was definitely a proud moment. And my mum, who'd always told me, to find a real job. At that moment, she realised, I think, that
this was the real job.
My son, he's getting somewhere with this.
And I mean, you said to us, or he's got somewhere now.
Yeah, she just about realised there. They took top of the pops, you know what I mean? But I love you, Mum, you know.
That's lovely. You said to us earlier on in the interview that your brother was your biggest inspiration.
Well, one of them, yeah.
Or one of.
Yeah.
When he sees you,
Yeah.
how does he feel?
Oh, my brother's very proud of me, you know. Very, 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 very proud of me. You can see it in his face. My brother, I'm doing what he was going to do, because it's like my brother is a very reserved man, you know, and I think that I'm a bit more outgoing, a bit more, you know, to go for it. And I think that when it comes to ability, he's more of a writer than me, all right? But I just had a bit more of the edge on the presentation. I'm a bit more open, a bit more out there. So this is for me to be doing so well of what I'm doing is like I'm taking the baton from him. It's like I'm going a little bit that little bit further, and hopefully, you know, someone in my family, my cousins, my nieces, my nephews, my grandson will take it from me and take it that bit further as well. It's all about taking it that bit further, you know what I mean? But still keeping the initial foundation and the fundamental love and the vibes and what it's all about.
I love it. General Levy, out of all the songs that you have made,
yes,
what is your favourite song and why?
From all of the songs that I've made, my favourite song, I would say, is Heat. I did a song called Heat, and I wrote this song in the studio when I was at Fashion Records in 1993. And for me, it was the first song that I actually felt, you know, I wrote the whole song, and it was produced by Sly Dunbar from Taxi Gang, and it was just the coming together of my song and Sly Dunbar's production to make this song called Heat. And he built it we made it from scratch. Like, I literally just came in the studio to Fashion Records, began to sing my hook and my verses, and he began to play. You know, Sly Dunbar's a really, really famous musician, played with Bob Marley, everything. So for this Jamaican musician called Sly Dunbar to give me that time to make music with me, it was a moment for me that really, it was a session and a half for me, you know, and then for the song to be a hit as well, and for me to actually get an award for that song, you know, it was the best single for 1993. And it was part of an album which was the best album of 1993. And then I also got best singer of 1993 in the reggae fraternity. So I'd say Heat was, for me, it was the fullest song that I did because it was made from scratch. I actually came in the studio, Gussie P was the engineer, Sly Dunbar was on his Yamaha drum machine, and Akai drum machine, and he was doing his sounds and everything, and his and we built the track from scratch. So Heat, what I would say is my favourite track out of all of the songs that I've made.
Okay. And if you could work with any artist out there today,
yes,
who would it be and why?
I would like to work with, I'd like to do a song with Adele. Yeah, you know, because I find that, you know, it's good to make a connection with UK artists who are concurrent at the moment, and me as an old school artist, it would be a good flavour to bring the rough and the smooth together, you know. And I've done a few dub plates on some of her tracks. I've got a track, her track Hello.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, I've done a remix. I've done a remix of my vocal on it. You can check it out on YouTube and on my SoundCloud and on my Facebook, General Levy Official. But it gets a good reception when I do those kind of them kind of things there. I'd also like to do a song with maybe Damian Marley.
Okay.
Yeah, Damian Marley, because I really respect his lyrical ability, and I'd love to get on a track with him. Maybe in hip hop wise, I'd like to do a song with maybe Busta Rhymes.
Love Busta.
Yeah, I'd love to do a song with Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
We just go crazy on the track, you know, both on a high speed level. That'd be a real energy track. I'd like to do a track. I mean, on pop level as well, I'd like to do a tune with maybe Justin Bieber, because he's getting some real good production, you know. I'm about to do a dub plate on his Sorry. He's got a track called Sorry or something, and the beat is a dancehall beat, and I'm going in on it. So watch out for that dub plate coming soon. That's an exclusive.
Oh, you
General
heard that
Levy,
first here.
Justin Bieber dub plate coming soon. As a matter of fact, I'm doing it tonight.
All right. And if you was to give advice to some up-and-coming artists about being careful when coming into the industry, what advice would that be?
Trust nobody. Only trust yourself. Trust your judgment, because when you're coming into the music, you can be spiritual and be soulful, but when you're dealing with the business, there's no love and there's no soul in the business side. All right, so the music is us, but the business is not really we. You know what I mean? If you're a real musician, so you have to have people around you who can deal with that side for you, the business side and this kind of stuff there, because it's very shady and very slippery, because it's business, and business is not spiritual. You know what I mean? Business can be a cutthroat thing. So I'd say that if you're coming into the music business, trust nobody, only trust your judgment, because if I didn't trust myself, I didn't listen to myself, I would not have done the song Incredible. And a lot of music which I've done, I've been told, don't do it, don't do this, don't do that. And I've trusted myself and my own judgment. Listen to your inner self at all times.
I love that. Listen to your inner self at all times. Okay, General Levy, we've got a few more minutes left. And if you'd like to say a few words to those watching the Don Sinclair Reggae Vibes show, just about when your next performance is and how they could reach you, that would be great.
Okay. I'm going to be in Catanzaro tomorrow in Italy. Catanzaro at the Zoom Club. And that's the 23rd of January. So it's probably going to go by the time you see it. But all I can say is watch out for General Levy coming to a city or a town or even a village near you, because right now we're doing a lot of work out there. We're doing a lot of live stuff. So you can check me on SoundCloud, or you can check General Levy at SoundCloud, or check me on my General Levy official Facebook, or on Instagram at General Levy, or Facebook Paul Levy. That's my personal page, but you can still check me there and I can meet and greet.
Thank you for watching Don Sinclair Reggae Vibes. I'm your host, Leslie Ann Samuel.
Peace and love. Every time. One love.